Welcome, everybody. I am joined by my co-host, Nick. Nick, tell him what you're working on.
What's up, guy? What was I working on? Oh, yeah. I'm finishing up that Sacred Architecture series. Finishing it up. I'm editing part 2 now, and actually might before I cover the Catholic stuff, just because I'm getting tired of like the geometry and the sacred buildings. Covered a lot of buildings. I might cover Valentinus. He's a Gnostic, so I might cover him. I don't think too many people know about him, so I might toss that guy in there. I have a script for him that I made up, so that's about all I'm working on. Just a lot of editing on the sacred geometry shit that I made, for the buildings and all these places.
Got it. So with Valentinus, is this like the Valentinian sort of Gnosticism, or is that a different guy?
No, the same guy, yeah.
Because I know they got Valentine's Day and all that stuff, but I know that's not based around him.
No, well, that I didn't actually. Yeah, I haven't come across that. I didn't even think of thinking. Like, that's interesting. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together to even wonder if it's the same guy.
Right. Well, they very rarely ever make their heretics into saints or whatever. So I doubt it's the same dude. All right. So where we left off last time, I think we were on the meaning of the primes right after we finished 777. So we'll get into that and do a little bit of these tables of correspondences.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start it off here. So the general 11, the general number of magic or energy tending to change. It's that 10 plus 1. So 13, the scale of the highest feminine unity, easily transformed into secondary masculine ideas by any male, competent, or the unity resulting from love. So that's interesting. You got the 13 colonies all over the United States, 13. They just keep throwing 13s at you.
Yeah, all over right? That's really interesting.
13 arrows, 13 stars, all of that stuff, yeah. 17, the masculine unity, the trinity of Aleph, Vau, and Yod. It's funny because that is the big Q thing, right?
Mm-hmm. So Q and what is it? Dario Trell and Luigi Mag, chapter 17. You throw that shit all over the place.
17 is a very magical number. 19, the feminine glyph. 23, the glyph of life, nation life. It's funny because you got that 23 movie with
Jim Carrey.
Yeah. And he's all in the I'm blanking on the name. The one where he's playing the Truman Show, right? And so that sort of image of the cave, Plato's cave, that sort of idea.
Was he also in that movie called 23 where that number was coming up all the time?
Exactly. Yep. 29, the magic force itself, the masculine current. I've never used 29 in any spells. That's interesting to go for.
Yeah.
31, the highest feminine trinity, 0 through the glyph of the circle. Not sure how that works. 37, the unity itself in its balanced Trinitarian manifestation. Okay. 41, the yoni as a vampire force, sterile. We've seen that pop up again and again throughout 777 as this 41 yoni vampire.
Oh, fucking bitch will suck the life right out of you.
You know it. 43, a number of orgasm, especially the male.
Oh, jeez.
Interesting.
Yeah.
47, the yoni as dynamic, prehensile, spasmodic. Esprit de travail, spirit of trivial. I don't know.
That's Trump too, the 47.
Yeah.
When he was making fun of retarded people and was spazzing? No.
That's true. He did do that. Spasmodic. 53, the yoni as an instrument of pleasure.
There we go.
Yeah. Got to go for the 53-year-olds there.
Oh, wow. Fuck, I'm getting up there. Fuck my life.
59, the yoni calling for the lingam as ovum, menstruum, or alkali. Interesting. Right. Wanting to be fertilized.
Yeah.
That's also, usually when
does that mean they only go through it's
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
61. The negative conceiving itself as a positive. Ooh, there's a lot of 61s out there. 67. The womb of the mother containing the twins. Now, it's funny. All of these primes cannot be divided evenly. And so, having the primes automatically implies the masculine number, right? So they're all odd numbers. They're all sort of imposing themselves on reality, right? It's sort of like the male
unbalanced.
Right. 71. The number of Binah, the image of nothingness and silence, which is a fulfillment of the aspiration. 73. The feminine aspect of Chokmah in his phallic function.
Ooh.
What?
The feminine aspect of Chokmah, it is. Well, I think Chokmah can be seen as the inner robe of continence, and the Binah would be the outer robe. And when the way they explain it, it's like, I guess I could see how it would be like going into the vagina instead of.
Could be the Watchman Monument, where it's got the yoni around the outside, and then you've got the pillar through the middle.
You know how I kind of like try to look at it, like if you were to see the optic nerve, it almost looks like a tube. And I sometimes wondered if it's just like the light going back up it. Because you are going, it's hard to explain, but that's how I looked at it.
Maybe it's the feminine aspect of the male is the male concealed.
Yeah, that's what I started to think, is that like the energy within like the body or even like the nerves and stuff is the male, and then the shape or like whatever it's in, like, fucking the shape that it's in is the female aspect of it.
Interesting. 83. Consecration. Love in its highest form. Energy, freedom, amarita, aspiration. The root of the idea of romance plus religion. It's funny, this 83 number is also used a lot within. What's that?
Is that 63, 83, 83 that when they like throw it out? Or am I completely wrong? Is that like 68 or some shit? I don't know. When you toss it out. When you toss it out in a restaurant.
Yeah. No, 86. 86 it. But it's funny, 83 pops up a lot with Christian nationalism. That's
really?
that's one of their numbers. 89. A number of sin, restriction, the wrong kind of silence, that of the Black Brothers. It's so funny how he keeps making these allusions to the Black Brotherhood and the White Brotherhood and all the rest of that stuff, but it never any more detailed than that. It's just the Theosophists did that too.
It does make that interesting. If you go look at his grade system, it's another thing that's even made me wonder a little bit more about the Black Brothers, is that I think in when you get up to Binah, it's like I think either you stay there and become like part of the Black Brotherhood, or you go farther. So like I even wonder what like that's about. It's like maybe I don't know. You haven't gone the whole way yet either. It looks like in his grade system, but it's very interesting how he puts that in there.
Right. Something about the nature of matter itself is sort of governed by the Black Brotherhood, at least in the Gnostic concept.
Yeah.
97. A number of chesed as water as father. Interesting. And that's the primes up to 100.
Yeah, then we go into the book itself, I think.
Right. So this is what he keeps talking about. We're talking about Chokmah, Binah, right? This is where he's putting these numbers on the tree.
Yeah. Yeah. So then when you start off, it's 0. Fuck. This is gonna sound stupid. Is 0 Kether? No. That's
zero's right here, I thought.
Yeah. 0's Ein Sof. Yeah, because there's nothing when you get to the first table of correspondences, there's nothing for 0. So I was like, oh shit. But yeah. If you want, I could start it off. I can't read this Hebrew, but I can at least put into like the English, like what's falling on line 1 for English.
Sure. And
that's covering the Sephiroth. So basically it starts off, orders of the clip off, the English, and then the heavens of Messiah. And then we'll go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way down. And eventually you will cover the spheres, and then you'll go into the paths or something like that, to that effect. So 0, there's nothing there. That would be probably like, the before Kether. Then you go down to 1, and that is sphere of the primum mobile. Then 2 would be sphere of the zodiac or fixed stars, which that would be Chokmah, which makes sense if you were to look at the Hermetic Tree of Life that has a lot of labels on it. It will say that the zodiac is there. Then 3, which would be Binah, that is Saturn. 4, sphere of Jupiter, that would be Chokmah. 5, sphere of Mars, that would be Geburah. 6, the sphere of Sol, Tiferet. 7, the sphere of Venus, that would be Netzach. 8, the sphere of Mercury, that would be Hod. And then 9, sphere of Luna, that would be Yesod. And then sphere of the elements for number 10, and that would be Malkuth. Then 11 would be associated with air. Then we got 12, which would be Mercury. Then Luna again for 13. Then we got Venus, matches up with 14. Then we got Aries and fire, the fire symbol. That is for number 15. Then you get Taurus and the earth symbol. That would be 16. Gemini and the, air. That would be number 17. So for line 17, interesting. Cancer and water. That would be line 18. Leo and fire. That would be line 19. We got Virgo and earth. That would be line 20. We have Jupiter for line 21. Libra for line 22. Water, 23. Scorpio for 24. Sagittarius and I'm skipping the elements. Shit, sorry. Sagittarius and fire would be 25. Capricornus and earth would be 26. Mars would be 27. Aquarius and air, that would be 28. That's very Saturnian right there. Pisces and water, that'd be 29. Then line 30, you get soul. 31 is fire. Saturn is 32. Earth is 32 also. And spirit can also be for 31. And then we got these other tables. Do you want me to keep going, or you want to take over?
Sure, I can take over. So right. This is the first, I guess that would be table 0 before.
Yeah, it'd be Ein Sof, or that's why it's like nothing, no limit. That's the 3 things. That's what I'm guessing.
Right. So nothing, no limit, limitless, right? Ein Sof hour. Right there with that. That's interesting. Again, this is Kether, the crown, right? Number 1, and 2 would be wisdom and understanding, mercy, strength, beauty, victory, and we're just going down by the numbers, foundation, kingdom, and these are all relating to the Sephiroth, right? So what they're trying to do is they're trying to associate all of the emotions and all of these actions and all of these placements with the different Sephiroth. So that includes all of the heavenly bodies as well. So this is sort of why it's important to understand the Qabalah in the first place, because this would be the inner sort of coding of the universe, right?
Yeah, like just like real quick, just to even throw this in, because maybe we should have like kind of edit this a little bit in the beginning, just to make this for people who've never looked at this book, make a little bit more sense. As you're flipping this pages, like let's say you wanted to work with Jupiter, that would be line number 4, like we just mentioned before, or whatever that would be, and then now that would also be associated with mercy. Now you could follow line 4, flip the next page, and it's going to give you other associations, all for Jupiter. So that's kind of like, you can't see it this way page by page, but if it was an open book, you'd see that like everything's going across.
Right. So. Right. Very true. Very true. So we were on beauty, right? This is number 6, and this is Tefera.
Yes.
Right.
Beauty.
And victory is number 7. Splendor is 8. 9 is foundation, and then 10 is the kingdom. That is where we're at. So it's the kingdom of all these things sort of condensed into one, right? And then 11, back with the ox. Ox. I think the ox is so important because this is the first letter, Aleph, of the Hebrew alphabet, is supposed to be represented as an ox. And also you've got the bull of heaven, right? So it plays into that as well. And again, we're talking about the air number. So there's something about the air that changes the quality into sort of being in this kingdom foundational moving point, right? And again, we saw before on the primes, 11 is where they start at. So that's interesting. And then the house, and this is the camel, right? So these are just going over Aleph, Bet, Gemel, right? So these are the Hebrew letters. Dalet or door. I can't believe I remember this stuff. Window. I forgot what that one was.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah. Nail is number 16. Sword is 17. Fence is number 18. Serpent, number 19. Hand, which is 20. Palm, which is 21. 22 is the ox goad, right? So that's interesting too. If you add the 11s, you get the ox goad, and you've got the 2 oxes and then the ox goad.
It's even interesting how ox comes up again for the double numbers, 11 and then 22.
Right. Well, I mean, we could see that all over the numerology. When you're talking about doubling these letters, they retain some of their value from the previous.
And like again, what we were mentioning before, like a lot of these would also go with the paths. These that we're reading now will go with the paths, and some of these, like as he's reading it too, these would also be, like I see fishhook, back of head, tooth. I mean, nail, window, door, camel. Those are all, and the ox. Those are all Hebrew letters that will be on the tarot cards, and those tarot cards will fall on these paths. So if you were to know the letters that go on the tarot cards, you'd see these matching right here already.
Right.
Just throw that in there.
So if you've got the Crowley tarot, you can use 777 directly with it and start to figure it out from that point down. So let's see here. Water, which is number 23. Again, back, it's the nascent life state, right? So this is life before it becomes life, as he was talking about with the primes, and that would be water. It's like the foundational principle for all of it. 24 would be fish. 25, prop. 26, eye. 27, mouth. 28, fish hook, right? So back to 24, you've doubled the 4, and now you're at the fish hook. So this is kind of like that option.
Yeah. Catching on to him here, bro.
Right. Back of head, which is 29. Head, which is 30. Tooth, which is 31. And Tau, as Egyptian, would be 32. And then more Hebrew letters over here that I cannot read. And this is bis. So this is all sort of, there's nothing there because it's on the other page. So
yeah. All right, if you want me to you want to go page by page?
Sure.
All right. Probably do this one and maybe another one after that. We'll see. We're at 18 minutes now. This gets a little bit more fun now because all 3 of these things are full. So I was all excited. So if you're using now this is getting into paths of the Sephirah, the general attribution of tarot, and the king's scale of colors. So now as I'm reading these off, there's nothing for 0, but for number 1, I'll be reading off the color first, then the attribution of tarot, and then the path of Sefer Yetzirah. So for 1, Kether, that will get brilliance, which is, I don't know if some people have ever noticed, like even on my rainbow, that rainbow shirt that I have, the silent rainbow, and some other times whenever I show a rainbow coming out of his eyes, I always make sure that puts brilliance white first. I don't know if people will notice that, but it is supposed to be kind of like Kether. Brilliance, then the general attribution of tarot, the 4 aces, and then the paths of the Sefer Yetzirah would be admirable or hidden intelligence. Then for Chokmah, we would get the king scale of pure soft blue. Tarot would be the 4 2s, the kings or the knights. And then and then the path would be illuminating. This looks like it says illuminating eye or illuminating 1. Then Binah, the 3 would be crimson, the king scale color. Then that would go with the 3, and the queens, the 4 3s. That's another thing too. When it comes to the tarot, obviously, as you're hearing it, the all like the aces will all go with Kether. Then all the 2s are going to go with second sphere. You just match them up. And then sanctifying is the path of Sefer Yetzirah. Then for Chokma, that is deep violet, the 4 4s, and the paths of the path is measuring cohesive or receptacular. Receptacular. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Then over to 5, which would be Qabalah. That'd be the 4 5s, and that would be the path would be radical. You could see that. Then for say that again.
Orange Man bad.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, I didn't even catch that. It is interesting how that's for 5 when it shows up plainly on 8. Interesting. Well, that's the king scale too. Orange, yeah, the 4, and then yeah, I already did that. Then for 6, Tiferet, we have the king scale would be clear pink rose. Then obviously the 4 6s. And then you have of the meditating influence. Then for Netzach, we have amber, obviously the 4 7s. And then that the path of Sefer Yetzirah would be occult. And then for Hod, that would be the king scale would be violet purple, the 4 8s, and absolute or perfect would be the path, Sefer Yetzirah. Then 9, which would be Yesod. That is indigo for the color, and then the 4 9s, and the path would be pure or clear. Then 10 for Malkuth, that would be yellow, the 4 10s, and resplendent would be the path. Then as you start moving on to the paths now instead of the spheres, you have bright pale yellow, and that matches up with the Fool. And how do you say that word? Fuck. Scintillating?
Scintillating.
Yeah, scintillating. Then for the 12th path, yellow, the juggler. Oh, that's very interesting. The juggler. The fucking ACP always go on about the fucking juggler.
Well, the juggler is interesting too because that's sort of like interchangeable with the magician.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's really all like kind of like different acts by the same fucking person.
Right.
You could play the fool, you could be a juggler. You know. Then transparency, which is not what I think ICP is about when it comes to their occult. They're not transparent about that at all. And neither is a Ouija Mac. Blue. That would be a 13th path would be blue, and that would be the high priestess, and that's uniting. The 14th path would be emerald green, and that would be the empress, and that's illuminating. And then the 15th path would be scarlet, and that's the emperor. So that's interesting how you have the scarlet woman, but then it could also go with the man. And constituting. And then the 16th path, red orange, the hierophant, and that would be triumphal or eternal one. Line 17, got orange again, the lovers, and disposing one. Line 18, amber, the chariot, and of the house of influence. Then we have 19, yellow or greenish, that would be strength, and that's of all activities of the spiritual being. And then line 20 would be green or yellowish, and that would be the hermit and of will. 21 would be violet, and that would be the wheel of fortune. And that's of conciliation. 22, emerald green, that would be the justice card, and that would be faithful. 23 is deep blue, and that's the hanged man, and that would be stable. I guess. 24, green blue, that would be death. It's interesting you figure that out with that fucking hangman too. Imaginative, the 24. Blue for 25, and that'd be temperance, and that's of probation of tentative 1. And 26, indigo, that would be the devil. Renovating would be the path. That's interesting. Renovating. 27, scarlet, the house of God. That'd be exciting. 28 is violet, and that is the star card, and that is natural. 29 would be crimson, and that is the moon card, and that is corporal. The 30 again, we get orange. That would be the sun. That's collecting. 31 would be glowing orange scarlet, and the angel or last judgment, wands or knights of the universe. And that would be administrative. And then for path 32, you get citrine, olive, russet, and black, and that would be with the empresses, coins, and white merging into gray, and that would be all 22 trumps.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, in Crowley's Thoth book, right, he says that all of the numbered cards in the tarot are actually one card, the elements. So if you were going to put that with the trumps, it would only be one card. So each and every one of these other cards that he's talking about in the tarot would be able to be broken down in the same way that the elements card is by these different numbers, right? They would just have slightly different variations based upon the total value. So if you think about the entire tarot of all of the trumps and all of the elemental cards as being broken down in a similar way, you get a completely different number, which would represent the totality of the split apart tarot, right? If you were going to do it that way. At least that's his understanding of the tarot, that all of the numbered, aces through kings would be all one card called the elements. So I guess, I don't know if anybody's ever done it that way, but it'd be interesting to multiply that out and see how many cards would actually be in the tarot if you're going to be super pedantic with it.
Yeah, that is interesting what you just said. Do you want to go and do another page or no?
I think that's a good place to wrap.
Yeah,
we can do some more next time, but this has been a good episode. I think it's bringing everything together. And
this is the fun part for me.
Right. But this is where you're doing your spell crafting, is you're just going through each one of these different spheres and each one of these different numbers, and you're finding all of the attributions to then insert into your spell crafting. So all of this stuff, all of these associations you would be building off of as you're doing your active spell casting.
Yeah, like even the colors, this is giving you ideas of stuff that you could use colors like on your altar or with certain things maybe you're using. Even some of them I think could be used for if you wanted to start doing talismans, you might pick certain colors that you're going to use on the talisman to represent which sphere you're working with. Yeah, I think even here we'll even get into crystals, drugs. There's a whole bunch of things that we'll associate with.
Absolutely. But I mean, we're just going through the tarot right now and the Qabalah, which Crowley was just obsessed with. Like he thought everything on the tarot should be perfectly lined up to the Qabalah. And this is what he spent the majority of his time trying to figure out. And he used a lot of these references from a lot of different sources to just sort of put it all together and fast forward it for you. So that's the value in Crowley, is he's using a bunch of different sources,
Yeah. I think you remember even the Golden Dawn he ripped off the Golden Dawn hugely with this too.
Big time. So he wasn't ashamed of it. I think he'd be the first to admit it. So
yeah, he didn't give a shit.
Not only admit it, but also tear down the people who he got it from. So
I had to fix this crap that I stole.
Exactly. I love it. Well, thank you guys for joining us. We'll do this again next time. It's just starting to get fun. So we'll give examples and maybe our own personal lives, how these different things apply. So
definitely could do that. Once we still get down the road into the book, I can start adding in how I made talismans and shit that way.
There you go. Yeah. Because I think a lot of people are kind of lost when they first get into magic, and this is the deep end, right? So if you want to start with the beginner books, they're never going to mention any stuff about this, but this is the deep end. So this is definitely not your one-on-one course. This is the definitely
a lot of witches and not just magicians. They may not like to admit it, but they do use this book.
Absolutely,
like even in witchcraft, not just ceremonial magic. Yeah.
And you can do this with Greek letters. You can do this with English letters. All of the different letters sort of fit in there. And that's sort of the idea. That's the goal, is to make it as associative as possible. All right, guys. See you again next time.
Later.